Change ongoing behavior. Most books do not do this. Most books offer the reader a buffet of ideas, too many to comprehend or remember. And when the book is done being read by that reader, usually nothing changes in their life. They just go on to read the next book. And now the next book's the greatest book because it's got all the great ideas. Then they go on to the next. But if you change their behavior in a meaningful way, now you've got value being added to their life long after the book is read. People are doing the Miracle Morning 5-6 years after they read the book, and they'll probably do it the rest of their life. And because they're doing this ritual, now they're talking about it. Why do you wake up early? It's this book that I read 4 years ago. Not because it gave them a new idea, because it changed their behavior in a meaningful way.
Imagine it's 1999. You're driving in your car, not a care in the world, and suddenly you're hit by a drunk driver going 70 miles an hour, and you're dead. That's exactly what happened to Hal Elrod, except after the 6 minutes his heart had stopped beating, he was brought miraculously back to life. With 11 broken bones and 6 days in a coma, he was then told he'd never walk again. If that was you and you were 20 years old, what would you have done? What would you be thinking? What Hal Elrod did was to change the direction of his life, and as a result, it's impacted millions of other lives. After recovering from that almost fatal crash, not only could he walk again, he ran a 52-mile ultramarathon. Then in 2006, he published his first book, which didn't do so well. And then in 2012, he self-published The Miracle Morning, The 6 Habits That Will Transform Your Life. Not only did it become an international bestseller, Hal has sold over 1 million copies and is still selling over 10,000 copies a month 6 years after it published. The Miracle Morning has been translated into 34 languages, has over 3,000 5-star reviews, and the principles taught in his books are practiced daily by over 500,000 people in more than 70 countries. Hal has since published 13 books in the Miracle Morning series, including the latest co-authored with some guy named Joe Polish, and Anna David titled, where's Anna David, by the way? She's there somewhere. I'll get a massage, of course, titled The Miracle Morning for Addiction Recovery. That's the latest one we did with Hal. What I've asked Hal to teach you today is how he was able to not only defy the odds in life, but how he's defied the odds as an author, and how you can defy the odds as an author and strategically engineer a book, even if you're not a writer, to generate millions of dollars for your business. Hal's title is Beyond the Bestseller, How to Write a Book That Creates a Movement, Earns You a Fortune, and Changes the World. Please help me welcome my friend, Hal Elrod.
Thanks,
brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Genius Network! You ready to have some fun? Yeah. I have nothing fun planned for you. That's really anticlimactic. What I do have is a 60-minute keynote squeezed into a 10-minute talk. So we're going to move really, really fast, but don't worry. We have a lot of content. I want you to get all of this. So don't worry about writing anything down, though. There's a handout that is being passed out or passed out soon that has everything on it. Of course, if you catch something you want to jot down, you can. The title of my message is Beyond the Bestseller, How to Write a Book That Creates a Movement, Earns You a Fortune, and Changes the World. However, some of you have written books. Some of you will never write a book. Some of you are in the middle of a book. Whatever category you fit into, swap the word book with the word content. This is really how to create content for your business, for your customers, for your prospects, in a way that will start a movement, earn you a fortune, and change the world. I'm going to teach you to strategically engineer content in a way that will amplify its effectiveness, it'll go viral, so on and so forth. Now, whether or not you want to write a book, in fact, I'm curious, how many of you have already written a book? Show of hands. All right, look around the room. How many of you have not yet written a book? Show of hands. And wait, keep your hands up if you don't plan on writing a book, and that's okay. Okay, I might change your mind, though. There is a reason that so many Genius Network members have written not just one, but multiple books and keep writing them, right? Including Joe Polish and Brendan Burchard and Ben Hardy and Cameron Harold and Dave Asprey and Dean Graziosi, right? The list goes on and on. Mike Koenigs, they all write books as a part of their business. So it almost makes you go, if I don't have a book or think I shouldn't write a book, maybe I should rethink that. What do we really want? Why are we here? What do we want as entrepreneurs and really as human beings? I think there's two things. Number one, impact, and number two, income. If we're really honest with ourselves, we want to create a significant impact, ideally one that's scalable, that doesn't have a ceiling, that just keeps impacting hundreds of thousands or millions of people. The more, the better. Or we want to create an income that's also scalable, where money comes in while we sleep, money comes in while we eat, money comes in while we're on vacation with our family. Those are two ideals and two things that a book can give you in a really unique way. My first book, these are pictures from my car accident. I wrote my first book because I felt a sense of responsibility to share what I had learned about overcoming adversity with as many people as I possibly could. That book did not do so well as Joe mentioned. It was self-published in 2006. Now, it did hit a bestseller list, number 1 on Amazon in its category, number 6 overall. And part of the reason this message is called Beyond the Bestseller is because there's very little value in terms of impact and income to hit a bestseller list. In fact, a lot of people spend more money than they make to get on the New York Times list. So the income is actually negative for that accomplishment. And then in terms of impact, you hit a bestseller list, but if your book isn't engineered the right way, if your content isn't engineered the right way, the sales stop. You can go look at a lot of New York Times bestsellers, go to Amazon, check their ranking, and they're ranked in the 600,000 or even below because they didn't create their book in a way that it would automatically go viral and create a movement and continue selling long after they wrote it. I got lucky. I think anyone you meet that's successful will tell you, wow, I don't know how this all happened. A lot of this I stumbled upon, but I've spent the last 6 years reverse engineering Why is the Miracle Morning, that book alone, what made it so successful in a way that I could share it with all of you. Self-published 2012, traditionally published in 34 languages in the last couple of years. And I discovered kind of a hybrid model. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes, but it's where you can be self-published and traditionally published and take the benefits of both worlds. The impact, over 1 million copies, 500,000 in the US, 500,000 in these other countries, and the income is $3.4 million. Now, here's what's interesting. To be clear, that is just the income from the book. That's not back-end income. That's not our live events and our masterminds and my keynotes, and that's just book sales. And I'm sharing that just so you realize what's possible with a single self-published book. And that's just so far. It just keeps month after month after month after month. The books continue to generate roughly the same amount of revenue. A few more reasons to write a book. Grow your platform exponentially. I think everybody here wants to grow our audience, grow our community, grow our platform. When I wrote The Miracle Morning, I had 14,000 subscribers on my email list, and now we average 25,000 a month. And again, not from Facebook ads, nothing wrong with Facebook ads, but every single opt-in comes from reading The Miracle Morning or one of the books in the series, and then opting in to download all of the bonuses. And I'm going to teach you how to do all of that today. Also, expand your platform internationally. The Miracle Morning, as I mentioned, so here's how this worked. I self-published the book because I didn't have a big platform, which means I didn't have leverage with a traditional publisher. And after I sold about 100,000 copies, I was having dinner with Genius Network member Mike Koenigs. And Mike and I were talking books, and he said, let me introduce you to my agent. And so here's what I stumbled upon, this kind of hybrid publishing model, where The Miracle Morning is still self-published in the US and Canada, which is where 90% of the income comes from. And I get the self-published royalties, which are, 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much as traditionally published. But then it's traditionally published in all these 34 other countries where I'm not going to go there and hire a translator and try to negotiate a deal. So you can have the best of both worlds.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video, and I want to let you know that I have a new book that's come out, and if you'd like to get it absolutely free, there's a link below in the description, or you can wait till the end of this video, or you can simply go to joesfreebook.com and you can get a copy there.
You can expand your platform demographically. So we kind of modeled chicken soup for the soul, which anybody can do this, right? You write your core book, and then you create these spin-off, these titles in the series. And I've been blessed to do Miracle Morning for Entrepreneurs on the left there with Cameron Harold. Mike McCarthy's in the audience. We did Miracle Morning for Parents and Families with he and his wife. Joe and I and Anna David just did Miracle Morning for Addiction Recovery, as you can see. And we're every year we come out with about 2 to 3 new books in the Miracle Morning series. So you can expand your business and your platform demographically. And most importantly, many of you know this, but 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with a very rare form of cancer and given 20 to 30% chance of living. And because of the Miracle Morning, because of that one book, it paid for all of my hospital bills It put food on my family's table. It paid our mortgage, and it did all of that passively. I didn't do a single interview. I just was in the hospital fighting cancer for a year. And this to me is the greatest benefit of a book, is that it creates that ongoing, passive, recurring income. All right, there's 4 strategies to go beyond the bestseller. We're going to go through these quickly. Number 1, and this is the most important. If this is all you learn today from this message, I could drop the mic and I can leave. Change ongoing behavior. Most books do not do this. Most books offer the reader a buffet of ideas, too many to comprehend or remember. And when the book is done being read by that reader, usually nothing changes in their life. They just go on to read the next book. And now the next book's the greatest book because it's got all the great ideas. Then they go on to the next. But if you change their behavior in a meaningful way, now you've got value being added to their life long after the book is read. People are doing the Miracle Morning 5, 6 years after they read the book, and they'll probably do it the rest of their life. And because they're doing this ritual, now they're talking about it. Why do you wake up early? It's this book that I read 4 years ago. Not because it gave them a new idea, because it changed their behavior in a meaningful way. 3 ways to change behavior. Number 1, give them rituals and routines. Give them something to do. Create a ritual and a routine around your content. If you're writing a book on, for a married couple, give them a date night, really unique practice that they're telling their friends about years after they read your book, and your book is still selling copies. Number 2, daily affirmations. Give them something to say. They can download a 1-pager that reinforces the concepts of your book. Number 3, your entire book should culminate into this behavior change. Give them a 30-day challenge to implement your content every single day for 30 days so it becomes part of their way of living. Number 2, create a self-sustaining community. This is the Miracle Morning community. 178,000 members. Every single one of those has come from reading the book and being invited to join the community. And how do you do that? Create a self-sustaining community, number 1, with a special invitation in your book. Invite them to join. I've got it in 2 places in my book so they don't miss it. It's in the beginning and it's again at the end in case they didn't get to the first time. Second thing is a pinned post. Give them instructions, real simple. Hey, welcome to the group. Post one thing related to your content or your message and comment on someone else's post. Now, every new member that joins, they put up a new post and they go comment and engage with somebody else. And it round and round and round, it becomes self-sustaining. And then number 3, add or delegate value daily. Obviously, you've got to keep adding value. We have a team of moderators around the world that are all volunteers, and they all do that. So when I'm sleeping, somebody in London or Italy or Korea, they're moderating the group and they're adding value. They're posting my content. And number 3, make it irresistible for readers to opt in. Real simple. Give 4 to 5 relevant, value-added, downloadable bonuses in your book. The Miracle Morning, this is crazy. We have an 80%, it's like 78% opt-in rate, meaning of every 100 people that buy the book, right, 78 of them opt in for the bonuses. The way it's done is there are relevant bonuses spaced throughout the book in 5 different spots. When I teach affirmations, they can download my affirmations. When I teach visualization, they can so they can download something, including a 30-day challenge kit at the end. And if they're not opting in by the end of your book, either your bonuses suck or your book sucks, right? Because if you're giving them relevant, valuable content related to what they're learning as a way to implement it, they're going to opt in. And then last but not least, maybe the most important, continue promoting until. What do I mean by that? We're all entrepreneurs and we get excited about the next thing. As soon as one thing's done, we want to move on to the next thing. And most authors that I talk to, they did a launch for their book. They promoted it for a month or 2 or 3. This next slide may be the most valuable that I show you. This is how long it took for the Miracle Morning to gain traction. This is how long I promoted for a year and a half to get my sales back to month 1. It took a year and a half of doing over 150 interviews on other people's podcasts, putting out 75 of my own podcasts, growing our community, our online community, the Miracle Morning community, being on over a dozen TV shows and radio shows. The question is, what have you created that you're willing to promote and you're put all your energy in for a year and a half or longer until you reach the impact and the income that you know it could reach? Because most of us, we go shallow, right? We promote this for a little bit and then we move on to this and we create something new, and it becomes quantity over quality. What do you have that is so high quality that you need to dust it off, pull it out, and engage and promote it and promote it and promote it and promote it until, like Malcolm Gladwell says, it reaches that tipping point, and then it takes off after you reach critical mass. Whew. It is your turn to go beyond the bestseller, and whether it's write a book or create some other form of content that starts a movement, that earns you a fortune, and that literally changes the world. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Brooke.
Okay, I hope you found that video awesome and useful. So if you want to get a free copy of my book, I want you to click here. And if you want to watch some more videos that'll be useful and awesome, click here. Go ahead. They're over here. Do it now. Come on. Thank you. Watch them.